A City of Greater Dandenong Southeast Business Network's waste initiative in partnership with SEMA, Southeast Melbourne Manufacturers Alliance. Today we're going to look at enabling a circular economy and a view of the Aspire platform. In a typical model, what we see is something along these lines. We grow or extract what we need from the areas around us. We shift and move it across to production facilities or factories where they're turned into products that we buy and sell, and the end of which we throw away into a big pile of rubbish. It's the world of take, make, and waste. And we know it's putting extreme risk on the environment and extreme risk for humans on this planet. The Aspire platform is a tool that enables businesses to exchange what would otherwise be a waste product and hopefully turn it into a resource for a nearby business in the local marketplace. It was spun out of a project started by a CSIRO and their offshoot Data 61. That project looked at the question, can we reduce waste by turning it into a viable commodity for another user? As a result of that project, the Aspire platform was born. In the world of take, make, waste, the Aspire platform in particular targets three areas of the production cycle. The factory settings where the raw materials are turned into something useful, the consumer end where we buy, sell, trade and exchange, and the end of life cycle end, that big pile of rubbish. On the Aspire platform, there's a series of commodities that are otherwise classified as waste. We can see there organics and plastics and glass, wooden timber and other items are identified as what are you getting rid of or what might you need. This is the core of how the Aspire platform works. The question you might like to ask yourself is whether you're a player in the linear economy. Typically in the extraction, manufacturing, assembly and retail model, inputs are utilised, changed, adapted, developed and then thrown away. That becomes wasted value. Remember, something only becomes waste and rubbish once you get rid of it rather than trying to use it again. What we're aiming to do instead is take a circular model to close the loop on how the production cycle works. In this instance, each of the steps of the retail, assembly, manufacturing, and extraction change what they do with the end use product. Can we redistribute something that's otherwise not useful for us but might still be useful for someone else? Can we reuse it or refurbish it ourselves? Will we upgrade or repair it to make sure it's okay? Are there parts that are broken on it that we can remanufacture to bring the whole product back into use inside our organisation? Or can we disassemble a component and use elements of it to repurpose it in another particular application? If we can't do any of those things, what we then want to do is try and dismantle a product as effectively as possible and recycle all of the raw materials. Some examples of the circular model are well known to us now. We understand the idea of recyclable materials and renewable energy. The idea of sharing platforms where instead of buying something of our own, we will collaborate for usage or access or ownership of a product. The product as a service where a particular company might hold on to ownership of a product that allows you to use it and they take it back. Interface, the carpet manufacturer, is a good example there. Product use extension is the idea of repairing or reprocessing a particular product so we can bring it back into usage and extend its life cycle. And the idea of resource recovery, again, moving that whole big pile of waste and seeing it as a useful asset. The Aspire platform suggests there are four key business areas that start to emerge out of this process. The profit opportunities through lower production costs by accessing raw materials that would otherwise be waste streams are clear. But additionally, your own waste stream becomes the raw materials for others, or your own waste streams are reduced, reducing your overall cost for disposal. We see new demands for business services. Reverse logistics companies go and collect items at the end of their usable life for you and turn into other products for other people. And then we start to see the parts and components that are accessible by dismantling some of those items at the end of their usable life. Consumers too are starting to vote with their wallet. Many are willing to spend more to align with brands that have a positive environmental and social impacts. And the idea of a systemic approach leads to greater security of supply. we're using less raw materials in the upfront stage and using more recycled inputs, which then leads us to the idea that supply chain threats are minimised and we can increase our business security. The Aspire platform looks at 11 different data points to be able to match whether your waste stream is a really good raw input for others and vice versa. The type of waste, your location, how much the cost might be, or how to pick things up are all factors that go into ensuring the matching process works as effectively as possible. Aspire in Victoria also aligns really closely to the Victorian state government goals. In the Recycling Victoria and New Economy 2020 report, the Victorian government identified a number of factors about why recycling needs to be a core component of our future. Boosting Victoria's economy, creating thousands of new jobs, product cost savings for households and organisations, and abating greenhouse gas emissions are just some of the issues that they're trying to tackle. Under this platform, we start to see the idea of industrial symbiosis. You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. There's some key success factors here. We bring businesses together, large and small, to work in a systemic approach. In fact, even smaller competitors and larger competitors can start working together to ensure resiliency and sustainability. That leads to opportunities to collaborate and innovate new ways to utilise the raw inputs and waste streams, which then creates our mutual benefit and value across the entire supply chain. Remember, the key here is to turn our waste from one area into raw materials for another. Aspire also has an advisory system for process innovation and resource exchange, allowing you to call them and say, is there an organisation nearby who can utilise my waste, or does an organisation nearby have the kind of raw inputs that I might be able to utilise? Since it spun out of the CSIRO project, over 600 businesses have saved themselves in excess of $200,000. Importantly, over 45,000 tonnes of what otherwise would have been waste has been diverted from landfill. With sustainability and resilience a key factor, the Aspire platform was also B Corp certified. As it states there, the company meets the highest standards of social and environmental impact. We know what the old model looks like. The take, make, waste model is increasing the amount of risk and putting strain on the environment around us. The new model seeks to retain the value of all products and all raw materials through the entire phase of the supply chain, putting them back in as raw inputs wherever possible. The choice is pretty clear. Which side are you on?